As an African American woman, a new African in the US, I think I'm starting to recognize why African Americans feel like they need to dominate certain spaces or their spaces being taken. I don't think that we have been taught enough about our history here in this country for us to be proud of our history here in this country. So when we do see other folk a part of the African diaspora taking up space, we don't feel a sense of inferiority, because I think one of our, I guess you could say, insecurities as a people is this idea that we have no culture, specifically African culture, indigenous culture, right? And because of that, all of who we are is attributed to the West. So we're seen as like not coming with anything or having anything. And it isn't true, but I think that sparks like a low-key inferiority complex in our brains. And that's why we kind of feel a little like a need to kind of like fight and get defensive and dominate, because it's hitting some of our own insecurities. That's what it is. And I think it makes it worse when people come into the US and they don't respect us, and the trajectory of our history, of our fight, of our resistance, right? Of how we have maintained our African culture here, but how it may show up differently across the diaspora. And particularly because we don't have, I guess, a close connection with land anymore, like other countries may have, specifically those in the Caribbean, those on the continent. Like there's a much closer, I guess you can say, connection to the land versus here, where we're primarily in cities, right? And I think one of the things when we think about African culture that we cannot forget is how close our connection is to the land, and how our connection with the land intrinsically affects our relationship to our Africanness. And not only that, when folk of the African diaspora even come to the US, they're considered Black American, even without this distinction that they are not of Black American ancestry. They benefit from the culture, they enmesh in the culture. But the moment, a lot of the times, when it's about where you're from, there's a clear distance. Like, do you see how that could spark like some, I see it.